What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and I have got some video footage that you are not going to want to miss as we have confirmation, unveiled plans of the arrival of the Build Back Better stimulus reconciliation from Pramila Jayapal that came out yesterday, and today we are getting that confirmation as what she said is starting to unfold. And this is your Build Back Better and stimulus check update. Now, you guys, I'm going to be sharing with you this video footage. Take a look at the titles coming out. This came out yesterday. Representative Pramila Jayapal, we can still get Build Back Better done. And she said they were going to do so. Even before anything had come out on this, she said Joe Manchin, negotiations were taking place with the president. He was going to get back on board today. She also said they were going to hit the ground running very aggressively to get things done. And she also shares the timeline. What's going to be the next moves going forward? And you guys, so far, everything that she says in this interview is starting to unfold. And take a look at what else she says, you guys. Broken promises. They cannot detour the path of the Build Back Better bill. And we're seeing that progress is being made. And she also says that she asks President Biden to continue to focus on Build Back Better. And then after, she is urging him to take executive actions. And we're hearing from this interview, take a look, you guys, she's saying this is still going to be the path forward, pushing through an aggressive agenda to get Build Back Better done, and then anything that is missed, executive actions to follow, you guys. So we could be seeing President Joe Biden and progressives actually taking over and getting their will done over Joe Manchin, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, what executive actions will be taken? What is going to be pulled out of the Build Back Better bill? Now, we will see. I will keep you up to date. Now, also, we're hearing that progressives are saying, in addition to that, after Build Back Better, they'd like to see another stimulus package with checks and unemployment extensions and all those provisions that people are missing out on right now that they're saying will give money directly to people and help fight poverty while we're in the middle of this pandemic. Now, we will see, you guys, but there is a lot of news coming out, and we are nowhere near done with this. This is all happening today. So I'm going to get you caught up on the latest, let you see the video footage for yourself so you can hear it directly from Pramila Jayapal. Now, also wanted to let you guys know that this week, the new channel is going to be launching with the first video where I'm going to be sharing with you what it was that I heard from a multimillionaire several years ago. And he said, listen, here is the secret to financial success. I want you to do 3 things. And if you do these 3 things and focus on them, you will become financially free. And I did exactly everything he told me to do, and it worked. So this first video, I'm just going to share with you exactly what it was that I was told, and hopefully it'll help out others as well. And if you're interested in seeing that, I'm going to go ahead and pin a comment down below. You can click the link. It'll take you to the channel. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and when I launch, you will get notified, and hopefully it'll help out a lot of people, you guys. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in right now, though, into economic news with stimulus. And let's start off by smashing that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Just takes a second, really helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you like to stay up to date, totally free to do so. And come join the Ram fam. I'll keep you up to speed by smashing that subscribe button, turning on that notification bell. I'll keep you up to date on everything going on. And if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is shoot me a DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. That is by far the best way to get a hold of me, you guys. And I got to mention this because it's happening again. Don't fall for the scammers here on YouTube in the comments. They take my picture and they create a channel title called Steve Ram. They claim they're me and they say, contact me on WhatsApp and contact my assistant, wire me money. You guys, that is not me, okay? If you want to get a hold of me directly, do so on Instagram. But with that being said, let's dive right in. Let's start off with this video footage and you can see it for yourself, what Pramila Jayapal has unveiled. And we've received confirmation with the first steps coming to fruition today with stimulus. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Let's talk about Build Back Better. As I said in the intro, Congress comes back, Build Back Better, at least trying to get it reworked into the president's desk is on the agenda. You wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post a week ago today, laying down a marker. I want to have you listen to what Congressman Ro Khanna, also of the Congressional Progressive Caucus of California, had to say when I asked him about the future of Build Back Better. Have a listen.
Do I think it's going to be the bill that we voted out of the House? No. Do I think it's going to be the exact framework that President Biden had? No. I'm a realist. And here's the point. We in the House stand ready to compromise. We want to get something done. So what we need the 50 senators to tell us is, what are you for? and the president and the House will work to getting something done in a compromise that is necessary for the American public.
And Congresswoman Jayapal, what I took from Congressman Khanna's statement there is that we stand ready to compromise and that the bill, a new Build Back Better, won't look like what we've been talking about for months now. So from your vantage point, what absolutely needs to be in the new version of Build Back Better?
Well, Jonathan, the thing that I tried to lay out in the op-ed was the process that got us to where we are, which included an agreement from Senators Manchin and Sinema and the president, and that the Progressive Caucus endorsed, what we're calling the framework that the president laid out before he went to COP26. And it had the critical priorities, not as big as we would want, not as many as we would want, but it had the critical priorities of the care economy. That's child care, it's pre-K, universal pre-K, elder care. Those were all things that Senator Manchin agreed to. In addition, housing, he agreed to that. These are things I've spoken to him about as well, by the way. He also agreed to, the provisions around climate change. Those were already negotiated from what we had originally wanted, but a significant investment in really taking on climate and reducing carbon emissions. That was absolutely critical. He agreed to health care, some pieces of health care to strengthen the ability for people to get health care, particularly important now during Omicron. These were all pieces that he actually agreed to. In my conversations with him as well, he supported. And my belief is that we can still get that done. And so the call now is to do two things. One, work very quickly to actually get that legislation passed. It's urgent, along with voting rights. Those two pieces absolutely urgent on the legislative calendar. And then the second is, because we don't know how long that piece is going to take, there are executive actions that the president can take today to actually make life better for people and to, let's say, up the ante a little bit to make sure that we do get legislation done, because the other path has to be executive action. So I think we will be rolling out our list of things that we want the president to work on. He began that by saying that he was going to put a pause on student debt, extend that pause beyond the original date. That's good, but we would like him to cancel student debt. We'd like him to take some aggressive actions on climate and a few other things to cut costs for American people. So that's really what we're calling on the president to do.
Okay, so you said just now that you believe we can still get that done, meaning the framework that you laid out there. But I'm still sitting here thinking, how are you going to get that done when the guy you were negotiating with and who you say agreed to all these things said that he, quote, just can't?
Well, he said he just can't do the bill that we passed out of the House, which look, you know how I feel about this. I've told Senator Manchin directly. As somebody I certainly respect him, and he represents a state where not a lot of Democrats win. And so I respect that he has a very different view of this. But he said he couldn't do the bill that we passed through the House. And as you remember, we added some things that were not in the framework. And so what we hope now, and what I know the president is working on with Senator Manchin, is to go back to the original framework that he committed to. There were only a few things, that maybe 10% of the bill, that was not what he committed to. And I think that it was unfortunate that he, announced on national television that he was essentially killing the bill, because there was a little bit that he hadn't agreed to. But let's go back to the table. Let's get this done. It is too important for us, particularly as Omicron surges. And we have these clouds over us, Jonathan, the clouds of the economic uncertainty because of COVID, and of course, the enormous cloud of our democracy that is in front of us. Joe Biden, Democrats need to succeed in helping Americans to see that we can get stuff done, and that we are going to make their lives better, and that we are going to protect our democracy. That is the most important thing.
Congresswoman, have you spoken to Senator Manchin since he blew things up?
I spoke to him the day after his conversation on Fox News. He called me and we spoke then. I have not spoken to him since that time, but I am always happy to speak to him and think about how we get it back to that original framework. Jonathan, I do have to say that as much as, we are pushing hard on these fronts and we haven't yet reached the finish line, I want to remind people that under President Biden and with the democratically controlled House and Senate, we have, this time last year, we had over 800,000 unemployment claims. That has declined by 75%, and we've created 6 million new jobs in just 1 year under President Biden. And COVID is nowhere near where it was in terms of people being vaccinated, people wearing masks, and of course we have the surge. We've got to take care of it. But I don't want people to forget how much we've done with the American Rescue Plan and with President Biden's leadership. That is really important. Now we've got to cross the finish line on these other pieces.
One more question real quickly, Congresswoman, and that is this. If a Build Back Better bill comes out of the Senate that just has child tax credit, universal pre-K, these are fully funded, not partially funded, but fully funded, and say elder care, those three things, only those three things fully funded, would that be acceptable?
Well, let's not go down that line yet, because as I said, these other pieces we're also committed to. So let's figure out what of those things can get done. But Jonathan, let's also remember that universal pre-K, elder care, child tax credit, each one of these things on their own is also significant. But I'm not quite ready to negotiate with ourselves. I want to have a person that we're negotiating with to get it over the finish line. Otherwise, it makes no sense.
I was trying to get you to negotiate with me.
Wow. So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That last question, I knew she wasn't going to answer it. I'm sure you probably knew as well. They always say we are not going to negotiate with ourselves when they ask questions like that. They say they're going to do negotiations with the actual individuals and they're not going to put it out there in the news. So you guys already knew that one, but man, she said an aggressive time frame. Hitting the ground running. They're going to get this done right away. Make sure they get Build Back Better taken care of. And then right after, she is urging the president that whatever does not get included in there to take executive actions, take authority, step in, get things done. Let me know your thoughts, you guys. And also, we're hearing there's going to be that second stimulus package as well. And I'll keep you up to date on all that stuff as it unfolds here on the channel. And also, if you missed my previous videos on stimulus checks, we're hearing that states, cities, counties, they're all finally starting to take those provisions that were available to them in the American Rescue Plan, that $350 billion allocated for them. They're finally taking it now, passing their own packages and in many cases, their own stimulus checks. And that is happening almost every single day now. So you guys, as that happens and it unfolds and we get more checks and provisions, I'll let you know here on the channel so that way you can know what might be available to you at different levels other than federal level stimulus package provisions. So you guys, that is the latest. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, consider joining that second channel, going to be launching here very soon. And also, if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, as always, thank you for joining me and smash that like button. Just takes a second, helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. And if you got any specific questions for me, contact me on Instagram at SteveRam3. Best way to get a hold of me by far, you guys. But with that being said, thank you so much for joining me. I will catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.